More rain on the way, as Megan was mentioning. I spent the afternoon checking back in on the Mountain View South Crest area. I want you to take a look at these pictures right here. This is what some homes on San Miguel Avenue look like for the last 2 months. Just look at all that trash in their driveway. Residents tell me they've been begging the city for a dumpster to remove all of this damaged furniture. They tell me it finally came, but they still have a lot more issues to resolve.
That was like that.
That's what your driveway looked like for 2 months?
For 2 months, yeah. And I made 20 calls.
When did they bring the dumpster up?
Sunday.
So this last Sunday, they finally brought the dumpster up?
Yeah, after 2 months. And then I told them, if you don't do anything, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get all this, and throw it over there on your sidewalk. But I'm also calling the news so I can tell them that we had no help or anything. And that's when the lady said, calm down, we're going to get something to help you. But it took them another week after that call.
What has been your biggest request or biggest issue over the last couple months?
A place to stay. We also had an issue with the vouchers and all that. Unfortunately, we had flood insurance, and but it wasn't enough though.
Let's talk about housing. So you and your family of 6 have been staying at the hotel for the last couple months. How has that upended you all's life?
It's been hard. I had to drive to multiple hotels to see if we were going to be extended or not, or had another, like a plan B or something, because the house was unhabitable. We couldn't come back.
So you really have needed permanent housing for your family,
yes.
Not temporary housing where you're moving every 2 weeks.
We are all taxpayers. The only thing we're asking, I think that's the least they can do. Provide us a permanent house, somewhere safe and clean that we can take our children, that we can live. I have to buy pretty much everyday food for my family, and I've been spending so much on gas, and it's been hard. And all this, we didn't ask for this. It was because of them for not being, they were neglected. They didn't do their job, I made so many calls, 2018, 19, and 22, and they never came.
So you feel like a problem they caused, and now you're the one left to deal with it, and you feel like you're not getting the help you need.
Exactly, yeah. They worry more about other like La Jolla, maybe Coronado, Del Mar, and they don't care about people that live on this neighborhood.
And I took some of her concerns, as well as some of the other neighbors on that street, directly to San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria. We're putting that together for you for ABC 10 News at 6. Megan, thanks so much. Well, for the last several months, I have been on the ground in some of the hardest hit areas impacted by the January 22nd storm. Some of the residents there have told me how much they need permanent housing solutions. That's it. That's the #1 concern. Earlier this week, I asked Mayor Gloria about what the city is doing to help.
We're working with property owners to rebuild their homes. The city is waiving permit fees. We're providing permit amnesty for structures that may have previously been unpermitted. And we're working with FEMA to make sure that whether it's a direct cash assistance or long-term low-interest loans, that property owners have the ability to restore their properties to the way they were before January 22nd. That is not measured in days or weeks. That's in months and years. But the city is doing everything it can be assistive of it. We're working closely with the County of San Diego, is providing that temporary housing while the permanent repairs are made.
And lastly, a lot of those people in hotels are having to switch from hotel to hotel every few weeks, and it's just a lot for them.
Yeah.
Is there a message to them? They want me to ask you this.
Well, they're working with the County of San Diego, and we're watching this closely as well. Ultimately, we're running into challenges with regard to people staying qualified with properties who may have previously promised those rooms to other folks. But the goal is to keep everyone housed for as long as they need it until they get that permanent assistance. We continue to watch this closely. The city of San Diego provided temporary housing assistance for the first few weeks while the county stood up their program. Now that it's up and running, I know there are challenges. There'll always be that. This is a natural disaster response effort. Nothing's ever perfect, but we continue to work closely with our county partners to make sure that folks do not end up on the street, and that as long as they need that assistance, that it's there, of course, with the eye towards the permanent housing that, of course, they need.
I asked Gloria if any of the funds for the temporary housing can be used for permanent housing solutions, and he said that they could not. But he did say it was critical that federal funding was approved for the disaster so more money could get in the pockets of those whose lives were turned upside down by that storm. And coming up at 7 o'clock, you're going to hear a response from some of the residents to what Mayor Gloria had to say. Well, the city says it's taking steps to prepare ahead of this next storm. Filled sandbags are available to San Diegans impacted by the January 22nd flood. You can pick them up until 7 p.m. at the Mountain View Rec Center and Canto Rec Center or FEMA FEMA Disaster Recovery Center. There are empty sandbags at recreation centers across the city. We have a list of locations under the resource center of 10news.com. City crews are also cleaning out storm drains with a history of debris buildup and sweeping streets.